As you know, the Hagbayon vlog is also a literary vlog, where I also feature poetry readings and especially rock poetry.
At nagkakaroon na naman ng pagtaas ng COVID-19 cases dito sa Pilipinas. Subalit ayon sa gobyerno, wala raw
Dahil ang pagsuyo ko ay multong haplos, huli na akong lumampi ng libong taon. Papailing ning paggamit ning folk beliefs related to the Minasbad.
Nunglo or the Kinabayo could very well be an articulation of this folk.
Then we go farther forward and we'll go to the falls. At saka ito syempre ang ating sword. Kasi naman ano po kung talaga may zombie apocalypse. Hi there, what's up? How are you wherever you are in the world? As the legendary musician Paul Sapiera would say. So shout out to the idol Paul Sapiera. Well, I am out here in the farm and I'm just trying to enjoy the fresh air and the cathedral of space that is being afforded me by this place. I'm trying to practice social distancing because, as you know, there is an increase or a surge of COVID-19 cases in the National Capital Region, particularly Metro Manila area. And as a matter of fact, the area is right now under ECQ for enhanced community quarantine. So people there are, suffering in a way. People are also dying. There is shortage in hospital space, and people are doing their best to actually surpass this trial. It is summer here. It's Good Friday, and maybe I'll look into some Lenten tradition by our Cimarrones brothers up there, and maybe I'll look into their so-called diwataan, their ritual, and just join me as I sit here, relaxing and recollecting on the summers past, particularly summers related to writing. As you know, the Hagbayon vlog is also a literary vlog, where I also feature poetry readings and especially rock poetry. If you look at my previous videos, the stuff that I posted early on, you would be able to watch the various literary events that we actually organized, most of them poetry events. It's nice to think about summers as related to the summer writing workshops all over the Philippines, as workshops are actually very important to a writer like me. Not only that, workshops give you the opportunity to find other people who are also equally crazy over the written word, and what better way than to actually win a fellowship, which is actually a bonus. Win a fellowship that will entitle you some sort of perks, travel, accommodations, and the chance to meet senior writers and more experienced writers. It is not, however, being done right now because of the pandemic. So what better way than to think about the past? Summers are usually associated, as I said, with the National Summer Writing Program all over the Philippines. But the very first writing workshop that I actually attended was a workshop sponsored by the College Editors Guild of the Philippines. And that was way back 1998 or 1999 when I was in Metro Manila, and I was still a college student, of course, and was still taking up a pre-med course. I actually had to, try to convince our editor-in-chief then. Shout out to Mimi Lacambra, hi there Mimi. By the way, this video might come out September, late September or early October, but I'm shooting this or making this video April 2001. Shout out Mimi. I tried to convince Mimi to allow me to join the workshop, and she did allow me. And I remember the workshop was held at the Orchidario, right there at Luneta. And the representative for the CEGP at the time even described the location as somewhere near the map of the Philippines. And I took the LRT and look for the map of the Philippines, and alighted or disembarked in that area. And if I may say, the Luneta Orchidarium became my favorite writer's hangout after that. Well, I attended it, and I do remember that the workshop was on essay writing, particularly personal essays. And during that workshop, I met a fellow student writer, Jinjin Melanie Chua. So hi there, Jinjin. I met Jinjin. She was then editor for Scholastican. I think she was literary editor, and I was also literary editor for the FEU Advocate, the campus journal for the Far Eastern University. And we were taught various styles in writing essays, particularly the personal essay. I remember the workshopper mentioning Jessica Zapra, etc. And well, what was memorable about that workshop was my friendship with Jinjin, because we later on became pen pals. Pen pals. I would send her my works. She would send me her poems as well. At the time, we were both starting in our respective journeys as a writer, but I could say that Jinjin was a lot, better as a writer even then, and she would send me her works, and I encouraged her to send them to publications, and later on she got published. I remember she got published in Philippines Graphic. Yeah, that was it. It was an event called Green Minded, and there was actually an essay writing contest, along with the workshop. The theme was, preservation of ecology or environment. I actually wrote an entry for said contest. However, a writer friend of mine was also in the same college as I was, borrowed the manuscript, and for some reason he failed to return it, because he said his family was renovating their house, and it got lost somewhere. So there, I failed to join the essay writing contest. Well, I did my best writing that essay. However, I failed to join it. That was my first workshop. But I never really. But that wasn't really a summer writing workshop, but rather just an ordinary seminar. That was in 1999 or 98. However, in 2001, in 2001, I attended a writing workshop at Cubao, Quezon City, held at the Earthlight portion of COD Cubao, that old mall, that iconic mall right there in Cubao. You see, the topmost floor of COD was a really special place because that place featured Earthlight, and Earthlight was a place for visual artists and for environmentalists and herbalists and massage therapists, etc., alternative medicine. It was also a place being used constantly by environmentalists for their meetings. Well, there, the workshop was held in that area, and it was on the essay again. And what was memorable for me at the time was meeting my good friend Doc Julie. Now her name is Doc Julie Noel. She's now in Switzerland. But during that time, she was still studying medicine. She was under the intermed program of UP Manila. And she was quite a remarkable writer, and she's the one I really remember because of what she wrote. She wrote about the eye or the eyes as being found in ectopic places, particularly the hands. She wrote about the eyes being found in one's hands, and I would forget that work. I would forget that essay that she wrote. And also, we became friends, and for some reason, we're still in, contact even now, and I actually constantly communicate with her even until now. She was a really smart and brilliant writer even then, you know. And when I went home, we took the same mode of transport. That was the MRT. I guess she alighted at Magallanes. Was it Magallanes? Yeah. And then I went to EDSA MRT, and went my way to Cavite, where I was staying at the time. Well, I was also taking my ROTC at that time because it was a requirement for my college course, and I failed to take my ROTC on time. Or to say it bluntly, I joined a kind of a fraternity which actually prevented me from getting a good grade in my ROTC, in my MS-12. So I had to take it again. So there, just sharing. That was it. It's quite memorable. But in 2001, yeah, in 2001, I joined a writing workshop for Filipino poetry or Tagalog poetry. That was Linangan sa Emahen, Retorika at Anyo, or Lira. I remember that Lira ran an ad via the Sunday Inquirer magazine, and actually sent samples of my poems, and to my surprise, I got a call. I got an email, particularly from no less than Rebecca Año Nuevo, who was then the president of Lira. I was excited, to find out that I was actually receiving an email from no less than the venerable Rebecca Año Nuevo. And then, well, of course, I attended the workshop and found out that the Lira workshop is no ordinary workshop, because it's like you're attending MA units for masters in creative writing, because Lira is actually month long. took us 6 or 7 or 8 months to finish it. Um, it was a weekly thing, you know. We would come back every Saturday, and there would be lectures, and then there would be palihan or workshop. And at the end of the workshop, if you actually make the grade, they'll make you a member of Lira, which is actually difficult. It's difficult to be a member of Lira because, of course, you have to pass the standards of the members of Lira. Binadera, Roberto Año Nuevo, so many. Joey Bakiran, yeah, of course, Binadera. And I mentioned Michael Corosa, Rebecca Año Nuevo, so many others. And of course, Virilio Almario, the national artist. And by March 2002, I was surprised to find out that I actually made it as a member of Lira, and you know, I was happy about it. But not to say that those who did not make it at the time were lesser poets. Not at all, because my co-fellows at the time were actually really good as well. Really good. However, those who became members for that batch, I remember, included Edgar Samar, Jeff Espiritu, Sharon Bancoro, and of course myself. That's what I remember. And what else? Yeah, that was in 2002. And during the Lira workshop itself, one of my co-fellows was Mike Manalaysay. Now, Mike Manalaysay was then working for ABS-CBN, was a former, or is a former participant in the writer's studio, or the script writing workshop for film and TV by the venerable screenwriter Ricardo Lee, who should be a national artist, I think, for film. Now, Ricardo Lee would hold, you know, workshops, regular workshops every year, something like that. And the screening was quite tough because I was invited by Mike Manalaysay along with my other Lira fellows. I was invited when we were at somewhere in Libis, I don't remember. The Lira workshop then was being held at Scout Limbaga in Quezon City. And I remember we went somewhere else and we had some drinks, and that was when Mike Manalaysay invited me to join it. And then the next day I was there for the screening, and it was a long ride from Cavite. And then I found out that there's so many people at the Pepe Press. Is that Pepe Press? It was just a house, and the house was somehow you know, made for creatives, writers, people who are actually into screenplay and into literature. And when I got there, there's so many people, and you know, the line was really long, the queue was really long, and we were asked to write an essay or something, and then we were interviewed. So, but luckily, you know, with all the, you know, applicants, I actually made it, and I received a call from Ricky Lee himself, telling me that I qualified. So that was a memorable thing also for me, because while attending Lira, I was also attending Ricky Lee workshop. The workshops are being held at Xavierville, Quezon City, near Ateneo de Manila. And I remember I would stay at Jamael Jacob's house at UP Diliman. I think it was Matimtiman Street. okay, at UP Diliman village, teachers village. Um, um, yeah, it was really fun because attorney attorney Jamaela Cob, my high school batchmate, a classmate, was also a very is also a very artistic person. Okay. And it was always fun to be in his house, actually listening to his music and actually reading his books. That's what I remember most. Reading a lot of books about philosophy and about various ideologies. He was then taking up uh, sociology at UP Diliman. And there, I met a lot of writers during the weekly workshop. Of course, there's Seymour, Seymour Sanchez, and there's Gracia Orbon. There's so many, and Richard Legaspi. So many. Who else? So many. I remember Princess Punzalan was our co-fellow. Yeah, and it was really cool. Well, that was in 2001 or so, or 2002 or so, because the workshop extended and extended. All right. But it was in the summer of 2002 when I attended. No, 2001 October when I also attended, also qualified for the Ateneo National Writers Workshop as fellow for poetry. So I was fellow for poetry. Well, I remember that Genaro Go Cruz was my co-fellow, and he told me, "Wow, you can actually write in English and Filipino." That's what he was telling me at that time, and he even said that I should try to find my focus, just focus on English or in Filipino. But as you know, that focus was hard to come by because now I write in English, Filipino, and Bicol, and Iriganon. So apparently I did not heed the advice of my writer friend Genaro. Yeah, and I remember during the workshop, Sir Crip Yuson was also a panelist. So many, and Benny, of course, Ma'am Benny, Binilda Santos was our panelist, and was actually the lead panelist and organizer. There was, of course, D.M. Reyes, Sir Danton, Danton Remoto, and actually, by the way, advised me not to use my thesaurus so much. Shout out to Sir Danton. Who else? There's so many. J. Neil Garcia was actually not so happy with my poem at that time. I remember J. Neil Garcia. I was actually delighted to see him because Sir J. Neil Garcia was, at that time, he just released a book of love poetry. And my then girlfriend was a fan, a big fan of J. Neil Garcia. So I was actually very happy to actually see him in person. Ibibida ko siya sana because of the fact that my girlfriend at that time was a big fan of J. Neil Garcia. Alright, there. And, well, Ateneo National Writers Workshop, I do remember we were brought to this really nice place. We're, somewhere near UP where we ate all those ham, sausages, and German Frank hot dogs with salad. I remember that well. And they gifted us with books. Actually, books by Ateneo Press. So that was really fun as well. Yeah. I remember I was then taking a pre-med, so I asked that I will not be staying over, because they were offering J. Pollock Center as billeting area for the fellows, but I refused that accommodation because I was actually staying nearby, and I was I had some obligations at school at that time, as a pre-med student. All right, and what else? That was 2001. However, in 2002, I was already a member of LIRA. I applied for the UST National Writers Workshop, and actually I qualified. The UST workshop was held in Baguio, and to my delight, it was held in Baguio because at that time, I don't think I have been to Baguio before. So I was happy that the workshop was being held then in Baguio. So there, I was really happy because I was excited to meet, one of my literary fathers, no less than National Artist for Literature, Dr. Cirilo Bautista. And I remember Doc Bao as, being so serious and stern and all that. And it was quite frightening at first. So on our way there, I was always trying to observe him. I was sitting on the bus, just relaxed and always composed, always Zen-like. That was Doc Bautista. And our lead organizer then was the late Ofelia Di Malanta. Well, I remember Rebecca Año was also a panelist. Michael Coroza was also a panelist. Ramil Gulye, shout out Ramil. And of course, no less than the word of the Lord de Vera himself. He was one of our panelists also. Lito Zulueta. There's so many. And even Francis Macan Santos actually dropped by to actually join us during the workshop as well. Pardon, because my neck actually hurts. Alright. There. Well, Baguio was cold that time. I remember fellow ko si Mary Ann Moll, a fellow Bicolano. She was fellow for fiction, short fiction. I remember her work, 3 Men in One Night. Shout out to Mary Ann. Who else? Yeah. So many. Of course, there's of course Mikael. Mikael Ko was also my co-fellow. There's so many. Richard, si Dimson, Red Dimson. Anyway, what I do remember was that I was so nasty during the workshop. I was, just came from Lira and all that, and I was so highly critical and all. And then Doc Bao, Doc Bao lashed at my works later during the workshop, and I was, and he said, "Oh, yung author nito, baka gulpin mo ko." That's what he said that time. I do remember it. Yeah, there. But Doc Bao, he's so strict, he's so critical, etc. But actually very, very kind, very fatherly. And after that, he actually became my good friend, and he taught me more, more stuff about writing. So everyone actually is missing Cirilo Bautista. So wherever you are, sir, I know you are in literary heaven. National Artist for Literature. Saludo. There, that was 2002. My next workshop was in 2004, summer workshop. And it was held in Bacolod. That was the IAS Creative Writing Workshop. It was held at the University of St. Lasal, Bacolod. University of St. Lasal, Bacolod. I was fellow for poetry. I remember I took a ferry going there. I didn't take a plane. I didn't take a, yeah, I didn't take the plane. I took a ferry, Super Ferry 1. And to my delight, 3 more co-fellows were actually persuaded to actually join me in that trip. I remember Rowan Velonta was there. Now the question is, where are you, Rowan? Where are you, man? I hope you are fine. Please comment. Yeah, there. Haris Guevara was also there. Hi there, Haris. Haris joined us during the trip, and we went to Bacolod. And the thing was, there was a storm, and little did we know that the people at Bacolod were actually worried about us because we were heading right for that storm. Good thing the shipmaster was actually a real master and was able to evade the storm, and we were saved, and we arrived at our destination in one piece. So, wow, right? That's what was wonderful about that ship, that trip. Well, I also co-fellow ko doon well, of course, si Kit Kwe. Yeah. He was also my co-fellow at UST. And I think Angelo Suarez also. Yeah. Yeah. That's where I met Leoncio Derriada, Dr. Leoncio Derriada, the great Leoncio Derriada. Was the Mr. Home Life, the poetry editor for Home Life magazine. Also, Cirilo Bautista, Docba, was also a panelist. And, of course, Marjorie Evasco, one of my literary mothers, Ma'am Marge. Marjorie Evasco. We love you, Ma'am Marge. And there, we went all over Bacolod, and I remember walking around a lot. I even watched a movie there. I watched Troy. I watched Troy right there at Bacolod. I actually promised to actually come back because the accommodation was just one of the best, accommodations sa Bacolod. Really great, really nice place. But you know what? I left my sandals over there. I left my sandals, so I don't know where's my sandals now. I hope the utility people there found a good use for my sandals. Right there. That was in 2004. And I got a book from Sir Cirilo, Galaw ng Asoge. I started reading it on my way back to Manila. And memorable also was the fact that my letter opener, a vintage letter opener I got from Bacolod, got confiscated at the MRT. Terrible thing, experience. Terrible. 2004. Yeah, in 2005, the next year, I attended Iligan National Writers Workshop. Iligan. So shout out to my co-fellows, of course, si Marcel William, so many other co-fellows. I think Hinaro was my co-fellow again at IAS, so Ateneo and IAS. I also sino pa yung co-fellow ko nun. Genebeth Loro. Genebeth Loro was also my co-fellow in Iligan and also in IAS. So, our ringleader was, our organizer, the lead organizer was Christine Godines Ortega. So shout out to Ma'am Christine Godines Ortega. So there, that was Iligan National Writers Workshop. Alright, I was their fellow for Luzon, Filipino poetry. It was also really fun to be in Iligan, and I remember trying to buy a Chris. Instead, I got a really small one, the punyal. I got a punyal. Got a punyal. Well, it took a long while before I attended another workshop. In 2012, I found time to actually apply for the Dumaguete National Writers Workshop. So, and our workshop director was no less than Susan Lara. Mom Susan Lara. Hi there, Mom Susan Lara. There. Well, Dumaguete was a blast, you know. Can you say? Good thing I was still writing in English at the time. So I had manuscript to actually submit. Yeah, and of course I took the plane, but during the Iligan workshop, I took a road trip from Naga City to Cagayan de Oro, where I met with Raul Moldes. Hi there, Raul. And then I went to Iligan. So I was pretty young. So I took a road trip. I didn't take the plane, didn't take the boat. I took a road trip from Luzon to Mindanao. So yeah, I was able to do that. Also, I remember well, I'm thinking I'm thinking of, yeah, in Dumaguete, Antulang. Yeah, that was a wonderful place. The sandbar, wow, the sandbar over there, so great. And of course, the food and the summer activities at Dumaguete. I actually wrote an article. Well, I usually write an article whenever I attend a workshop, but Dumaguete was so memorable. So memorable. We went to so many places, so many nice places. Workshops were held from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So we had actually time. We have time after 3 p.m. And no sessions during the weekends. So it was like kind of a vacation. So if you are a writer and you write in English, try to apply for the Dumaguete National Writers Workshop. Apply and apply until you actually make it. Me, I was just lucky that I made it the first time, or the first try, on the first try. But you just keep on applying for it. It's a nice place to be if you write in English. Wow, Dumaguete. The music, the summer sweat, and of course the bikini bodies. Wow. Alright, I said it already. So there, Dumaguete. Maybe I'll come back for Dumaguete. I'll do a backpacking, bikepacking video on Dumaguete. Yeah, of course there's other workshops. This the Juliana Arejola Fajardo workshop for vehicle writing. But when I attended it, it was actually summer. No, it was actually in December. Well, other workshops that I attended were workshops where I was a panelist. It was held in the summer. I actually became a panelist also for UST National Writers Workshop in 2008, if I'm not mistaken, or 2009. It was held right there at UST only. UST lang noon. Well, all the other workshops, the workshops by the Parasol of Bicolon, Saring Sing, yeah, and the workshop organized by the my friends at Albay, the Albay Writers Workshop organized by the Upcut, yeah, 2011. That was great. I mean, wonderful. So that's it. How do you like the place? Let me share it. Yeah. So I'll be doing some hiking and camping videos soon, bikepacking videos as well. So please join me, and this will be coming out, I guess, September, late September. But I am actually making the footage right now, April, summer. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Jason here for the Hagbayon channel, and remember, the pen is mightier with a sword.